everybody, Shauna here again with JustTheBestUtah.com. I'm here with your October recipe. Whether you're doing a Halloween party or you just need a great weeknight dinner, I've got it for you today. So the first step to our patty melt sliders that we're making today is just to saute up some onions. I just have a large sweet onion in my skillet with a tablespoon of butter, and I'm just sauteing them up till they're nice and golden, just like this. Then we're gonna remove them from the pan and go on to the next step of the recipe. Okay, so after we sauteed those onions, I have just browned a pound of hamburger and I've drained it off. Now we're gonna add some flavoring to this. I've got a couple tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. That goes right in. We're gonna add a pinch of salt, about a teaspoon of black pepper. This is just to taste, so however spicy you wanna go. And then I've just got a little bit of garlic powder. We're gonna put that right in. And then we are gonna just toss this together. Once the meat's done, we're ready to assemble our sliders. All right, so we are gonna go ahead and assemble our patty melt sliders. So I have just got a baking sheet here with 12 slider buns on the bottom. You can use any type of bun that you need, any small roll will do. We're gonna go ahead and take 8 pieces of Swiss cheese and place this on top of the buns. Now you don't need to be worried about where the cheese is going and where the buns are. It just goes straight over the top. You're just covering the whole surface. And then we're gonna take that hamburger mixture we made and just place that on the top. And again, you really don't need to worry where the individual buns are. You're just gonna pile the meat on top of the buns. And just make sure you cover the entire surface. Okay, now remember those onions that we sauteed. We've still got those handy. We're gonna pile those on top of the meat. And the reason I pile these on top instead of stirring them into the meat, which you definitely could do, is just because they really look pretty when they sit on the top. When you cut these and you've got them all separated, you're really gonna see the onions stand out if you do it this way. But you're not gonna ruin it either way that you do it. Now that we've got that done, we are just going to place the rest of our cheese on top, just like we did before. Just like that, and then we're gonna place the top of our buns on top. And if you remember, we had 3 buns across, so we're gonna keep it the same when we pile these on top. So really, you're just building one giant sandwich to start with. Now before these go into the oven, we've got to make a little sauce to go on top, so I'll show you that next. All right, everybody, we are gonna make the delicious sauce that really make these patty melt sliders the delicious meal that they are. Are you ready? I have just got a few tablespoons of butter melted here in my cup, and I'm just gonna add about 2 tablespoons of honey to this. And this is gonna add so much sweetness, and when these bake in the oven, they're gonna get so sticky and sweet, you just won't be able to resist them. And then what I've got here is dried mustard. It adds a lot of spice. If you don't happen to have dried mustard, you could use any old mustard out of your fridge. You could use just the stuff you put on hot dogs. You could use Dijon mustard, anything at all that you want. And then what we're gonna do is just thoroughly mix this together until the honey is all melted into the sauce and it's really a homogeneous mixture. And it'll just take a minute for the heat of your melted butter to get the honey all melted down. And then I'll show you how to dress these sandwiches up. Now the one thing you want to make sure is you use this entire mixture. So if you have to go back over these sandwiches another time, that's perfectly okay. You want to use up every single bit of it because it's just going to add flavor. And when these bake in the oven, it's really going to caramelize everything and just make it taste so good. So don't be afraid to just pile it on. Okay, so to finish these sliders off, I just have some poppy seeds here, and I'm gonna use about 2 teaspoons. I'm just gonna cover the tops of the buns. This really gives them like a deli feel, like a classic American patty melt. And it adds a little bit of crunch when you bite into the sandwich. And then after that, I'm just gonna add, this is just dried onion that you get in the spice aisle. And I'm gonna do the same thing with that. And again, it adds a little flavor and crunch. Now, if you didn't have either of these things, sesame seeds would work on this, chia seeds, anything you've got in your pantry that can give a little bit of a crunch, that would go fine on top of this. Now, these just go into an oven for about 15 minutes, just till they get hot and gooey and the cheese melts and you've got your patty melt sliders. Okay, everybody, we have just got our patty melt sliders out of the oven. They are gooey, they are hot, and they are ready to eat. I'm just gonna cut you one of these so you can see how great they really look once they're done. Before you serve these, you can just cut the whole thing up, put it out, and let everyone serve themselves. They dish up really, really easy. But doesn't that look great? Look at all that melted cheese. There's not a single person I know that wouldn't like that for dinner, wouldn't you say? Thanks a lot for joining us.